Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to build a simple, cheap, and fully automatic Magma Cube XP farm in your Bedrock Edition worlds. This farm is going to be using the Magma Cube spawner that you can find in the Bastions in the Nether, and this is going to be quite the different and interesting project for you to work on. Of course, you'll only ever get magma cream from this farm, so it's really only useful for making fire resistance potions or crafting magma blocks, so not particularly useful. However, it's actually a pretty great source of experience. Not only that, this is going to be a very different, weird, and possibly highly challenging farm to build in your worlds, simply because these are located down at the middle of a bastion, and these things are full of mobs that really do not like you. So if you're looking for a different, weird, or interesting project to build in your world, consider making a magma cube farm. To demonstrate the farm and check it out in action, we need to get ourselves a little bit of a change of scenery. So here is the entire farm before you freak out and think that this is something massive and huge. It's actually extremely simple, and we're going to walk through how it works really quickly. So, of course, we got our magma cube spawner right here in the middle of the room. Plenty of room above it for the spawning magma cubes to bounce around, jump around, do whatever, and then fall down to the bottom. They can even spawn on top of the spawner and then bounce off to their doom as well, so that helps to bolster your rates. And then they are dropping far enough down that none of these guys down here, they will never affect the rates of your farm. This thing will always have a completely free cap, so to spawn magma creams as fast as possible. And next up, we have the kill chamber. So we're using a couple of cactuses on either side to break down the large magma cubes. These guys will jump up on the cactuses, get stuck on the sand, and then for the most part, they'll stay there as long as they can until they die and break into the medium cubes. The large ones cannot fit into our Trident Killer, so we're using cactuses to break them down auto-magically. Now, the little ones and the medium ones will fall directly into your Trident Killer, and as you can see, they just get grinded to bits and give you all the cream, which is quite nice. Of course, you also pick up the experience from the magma cubes as well, and all you gotta do is stand here. In fact, you do have to stand here. We use the player as bait to attract all of the magma cubes. They can all see you from your AFK spot right here, and none of them will ever be able to hit you. You can stand here for hours and hours. You get a ton of experience from this. It's really quite nice. We got an off switch for the Trident Killer. Whenever you leave the farm, you can turn it off. And then, of course, we got storage for all of the magma creams as well. If fully automatic isn't your way, or maybe you just don't like Trident Killers, I have a solution for you, a fully manual version of the farm. As you can see, all you gotta do is stand here. You will attract all of the magma cubes towards you. It sounds really fun, and then you just whack them with your sword. You'll likely want an auto clicker because there is so many of them. This video is part of my advent calendar for December of 2020. Every single day in December, I'm releasing a brand new tutorial on the channel, some sort of farm, contraption, or redstone thing for you guys to build in your worlds. If you are enjoying the series thus far and want to help out support the videos and the channel, then of course leaving a like or sharing around these videos is the best way to do so. And also, if you want to see a lot more videos like this on the channel personally and see them first, then consider subscribing. Subscribing is the best way to get notified of what happens when, and make sure you don't miss any of the good contraptions or farms. We're using standard mob spawner mechanics, so the diamond shape around the mob spawner. Of course, these guys spawn mobs in a 9x9 area centered on the spawner. We actually have this as an 11x11 area. That way the large cubes don't glitch into the wall and escape the farm, so slightly larger than it needs to be. And then, of course, that's how we're also dropping them so far to remove them from the mob cap. If you want to know more about the basic mechanics of how mob spawners work, I'll link to a Groova Guy video down in the description. As for the Trident Killer, well, we're basically just throwing a trident and then having that thing get pushed around in a circle by some pistons. Very basic mechanics. Trident Killers have been around for ages and ages, and if you'd like to know more information about them, I'll have a couple of my tutorials linked down below. Otherwise, like, there's cactuses. I'm pretty sure you guys know how cactuses work. If you don't, they're pokey. So let's quickly go over the rates of the magma cube farm, shall we? We're going to be comparing this to a blaze spawner, since that is the most relevant thing for this particular type of farm. So for example, a blaze spawner will spawn anywhere from 1 to 4 blazes. Each blaze gives you 10 experience, and that means that you get 10 to 40 experience per spawning segment. Now, for blaze spawner, it takes 15 minutes to get to level 30, which is basically double that of a zombie or skeleton spawner. Now that you got that basic information information, let's talk about the magma cube spawner. These things can spawn anywhere from 1 to 4 mobs as far as I'm aware, and that means you can get one teeny tiny baby mob like that guy, or you can get 4 of these massive guys. So that gives us an XP range of anywhere from 1 to 128 XP, which sounds promising, doesn't it? Now, if the mob spawner happens to spawn 4 of the very large boys, then that'll give us anywhere from 28 to 128 experience if these guys split into 4 of these, and if each one of these splits into 4 of these. Now, the big ones, when you kill them manually, they will give you 4 experience each. They can split into 4 of these guys. Each one of them gives you 2 experience, and each one of these can split into 4 of these little guys. Each one of these little guys gives you 1 experience. Now, obviously, that means that you want to kill these guys manually, so if you're using the fully automatic version, the cactuses will be kind of working against you on the XP front, but it'll also mean that you can AFK at it for longer without any form of auto clickers or anything. So it's a little bit of a sacrifice, but it does kind of make sense depending on what you want to do. Now, if you are using the magma cube farm with a looting 3 sword, you're only going to get about 900 magma creams per hour, which is not that great. You'll also get to level 30 in about 24 minutes, which is only slightly faster than a standard zombie or skeleton spawner farm. Now keep in mind, if you have yourself a blaze farm and a little slime farm, you can actually just straight up craft magma cream using slime balls and blaze powder. So that is the information. Overall, it doesn't seem like this is actually that good of a farm. However, it's still a fun project. It's something we can do, and I wanted to make a tutorial for it. And let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? The first part of the tutorial is going to be focused on safety and how to prepare the area inside of the bastion for your magma cube farm. And also, there's going to be a full materials list for this build down in the description of the video, so you can take a look at that and know exactly what materials you need for this build. So first things first, on the safety agenda, make sure you have fire resistance potions. There's lava absolutely everywhere, and you're going to have to clear out a lot of this for your farm. So make sure you got fire resistance, which is mildly ironic because, you know, the entire reason you're farming these guys is for more fire resistance. Also, you want to make sure you got a lot of light sources to light up the bastion. Skeletons and other mobs spawn very frequently in here, and you do not want those guys knocking you into lava. And also, make sure you're wearing some golden armor. I would recommend golden boots. Hopefully it doesn't break too soon, but have some backups in case it does. You definitely want to wear a chest plate and pants. You'll also want to wipe out or capture all of the piglin brutes. These guys do not care what you're wearing. They will attack you regardless. So make sure you take care of all of them before you start building. I would also highly recommend that you get yourself a safe room somewhere close by to your spawner. So make sure you got a room that is easily accessible, and also have yourself a respawn anchor in here as well. That way you can respawn. Having an ender chest is always a good idea, and having some additional ways out of your safety room is also a very good idea too. It's also a very good idea to have some totems of undying if you have any on hand. If you build yourself a raid farm, you'll have millions of these. So first things first, we want to disable this magma cube spawner. The easiest way to do that is to bridge outwards 4 blocks in every direction using solid blocks or glass. You cannot light this thing up to prevent them spawning. They spawn in any light level, so don't bother putting torches on it. You then want to make yourself a diamond shape going all the way around it. So this is going to be a 9 by 9 diamond like so. So that is a single layer. We now need to make this 3 layers tall, 1 block above the spawner and 1 block below the spawner as well. If you fill in this entire thing with glass or solid blocks, that will completely prevent the spawner from spawning anything. You should end up with something like this, and now your spawner is completely disabled. You should not see any magma cubes spawning at all. Now what we need to do is we need to clear out a lot of lava in the area. I would recommend getting yourself a bunch of gravel. That way you can just drop it in there and it'll fill up the lava. So start from the central block above the spawner and go out 7 blocks in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here would be 5. And then this is 6. And this is 7. Now keep in mind, you only need to clear out this shape in a diamond shape, so once you've gone out 7 from the spawner, just keep on going in a diagonal until you meet up 7 blocks and the other direction. So kind of like how we have over here. This way you don't clear out any additional lava that's not going to be in your way in the first place. And this is what it should look like once all of the lava is cleared out around your spawner. As you can see, it's really not that much. You shouldn't need more than a couple stacks of gravel. Now what we need to do is go 3 blocks above the spawner and place in your roof. So your spawner is right here at this layer. This is 1 block, this is 2, this is 3, and then on the 4th block we're going to place in a light block right above the spawner. That is going to help prevent some spawns that shouldn't happen on top of your spawner, like skeletons. Make sure only magma cubes spawn on it later on in the farm. Anyway, branch out from this light emitting block by 5 blocks in every direction, so that is 3, 4, 5, and do that on every side. Once you have your 5 block strips in place, go ahead and connect up the corners in a diamond shape on all sides. Now that the roof is in place, we need to go down below the spawner by 10 blocks. So of course, the spawner is right here at this layer. This is 1 block. This right here is 2, 3, 4, and then you gotta dig it downwards. Be very careful about this. There's lava everywhere, of course. Anyway, that is 5 blocks, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that is 10 blocks. On the 11th block, this is where the floor of your mob farm is going to be going. So make sure there is a 10 block gap between your floor and where your mob spawner is. And now we need to mark out where the walls of our farm are going to be going. So we need to go 6 blocks out in every direction from the center of our spawner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, and this is 6. Of course, go ahead and make yourself a diamond going all the way around the mob spawner. You will need to clear out some room. You'll need to clear out some of the central area, fill in some additional lava, and of course remove part of that wall as well. But go ahead and make that diamond going all the way around the edges. If you built everything correctly, you should notice a 1 block gap between the barricade you put around your spawner, like so, going all the way around the edges. And you should notice that this gap lines directly up with your roof as well. So make sure that everything is now properly lined up or properly in place. And now we need to mine out this hole going downwards by 10 blocks all the way to where our floor level is going to be. And as you can see, we have dug out all the room that we need for this build. You'll also want to clear out some room to the front of the build, likely in the center of the bastion for your Trident Killer, your AFK area, storage. Anyway, now that you have all of the hole dug out, you want to extend the walls all the way up to the ceiling height, just like so. And then of course you also want to extend the walls downwards to the floor height as well. So just extend them going down until you reach 1 block above where your floor block is. At this point, your farm is really coming together and we are nearing the end of the build process. So we're going to go down to the bottom of the farm and towards the front as well. As you can see, I filled in part of the floor. Nothing really to say here. This is just a temporary marker block to mark the center of the farm, so it's directly below your spawner. I filled in the back half of the room with glass. We will focus on the front half in a moment. So line yourself up with the spawner, and this is going to be the center block of the farm. We're going to place in a lower slab here, and then place in an iron trapdoor above both of those. Redstone block to the side of both of those iron trapdoors to flick them upwards, and then remove that block. Place in an upper slab, remove this piece of glass right here, and place in another upper slab right there, and this is going to be the basics of your AFK spot. And now we need to make some changes to the front corner of this wall just to allow the big and the medium slimes to actually get into our kill chamber. So this little pillar right here needs to be removed going up 3 blocks and moved forward right above this slab. I'm using orange glass just to denote the changes that we're making. Anyway, we're going to break into the build real quick and then change up a couple more of these pillars right here. So we're going to push this pillar back a block, so remove these 6 blocks and put in 6 additional blocks right there. We're also going to put another pillar in right here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and remove this pillar out, and we also need to move this one back by a block into this wall. So just go ahead and remove these 6 blocks and replace them with your wall block. And that is the changes. As you can see, it should be, you know, basic diagonals, and then goes in by 2 blocks to be flat, and then 2 more diagonal blocks, and then you got your 2x2 kill chamber. On the right side of the build, it is completely diagonal. And this is where the tutorial splits for the 2 different kinds of kill chamber styles. So if you want the fully manual style farm, keep on watching. And if you want the Trident Killer, skip to the timestamp that is on screen right now. Okay, now that all of those automation people are gone, we're going to go ahead and install ourselves a double chest right here, go around the back side of the farm, remove these 4 blocks, and then place in a bunch of hoppers going all the way back. You want 5 blocks back with hoppers from your slab. So as you can see, that is 5. We're going to go ahead and install another 5 hoppers right here, and then 4 on this side, and an additional 4 on this side as well. It is a lot of hoppers, but the slimes kind of get flung really far, especially if you have knockback, so you want those items to land into your hoppers and go into your item collection. Fill in the remaining areas with blocks of glass. Go ahead and put some glass blocks back in there. To build the fully automated farm with the Trident Killers and the cactuses, we need to go onto the inside, go in front of the kill chamber right here, and then mine out a 2x2 area going downwards by 3 blocks. We're now going to flip around back to the front side, go 3 blocks in front of this slab right here, and then mine downwards into the ground by 5 blocks. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and now mine towards the inside of the farm. If we keep on mining, we should pop right into this area that we just mined out for the Trident Killer. Now we need to go ahead and place a chest in here right down where this hole is, and place in 4 hoppers going into that chest like so. You also want to make sure to put solid blocks above each one of your hoppers to kill any magma cubes that might escape, and of course further prevent magma cubes from escaping your Trident Killer. And now we need to mine out additional area for all of our Trident Killer redstone. So basically make a ring going all the way around the 2x2 that we already mined out, just like so. That'll do just fine. Go ahead and fill in these 3 blocks with solid blocks, and then get yourself a piston right here with a lever above it, and then a solid block in front of it. Temporary block right there, and then go ahead and get yourself a piece of rail and push a hopper minecart directly into this little hole. Sometimes these guys are annoying, so you might have to try twice. 3rd time's the charm. There it goes. Anyway, remove your rail, remove that temporary block, and then flick the lever to push that solid block directly into the minecart, as you can see there. Fill in those 3 blocks, and now we need to place in our 4 pistons. So 1 piston there, 1 piston there, 1 there, and of course 1 right there as well. Fill in all of these areas with solid blocks like so, and now we need some redstone. Place a repeater right here in the corner on 4 ticks. This is very important. Make sure that is there. This slows down the contraption so that it improves reliability and you don't have any magma cubes escape. An observer facing that repeater, solid block right there, dropper, observer, solid block, dropper, observer, solid block, dropper, observer, solid block. And now we need to set up some additional item collection for all the additional drops that land outside of the Trident Killer. So replace this solid block right here with a dropper facing forwards, and then you want a hopper facing downwards into that right there. And then basically just ring hoppers all the way around the entire edge of your Trident Killer, just like so, and then put 2 additional ones right there. These hoppers right here will catch the vast majority of items, but if you really don't like loss in your farms, go ahead and add some additional hoppers in these locations right here, and that'll catch more than enough of anything. You really shouldn't see anything left behind. Anyway, once you've got all of your hoppers in, go ahead and place in the rest of the glass blocks to fill in the empty areas. And now we need to finish up the kill chamber area, so go ahead and replace these 2 corners with solid blocks on both sides of the builds. This will help keep your magma cubes in when they split. And now we need to install sand above each one of these solid blocks as well. Mine out the 3 blocks above those and place in some cactuses. Now you're likely going to have to gravel out some more lava and remove some additional blocks just to be able to place the cactuses in, but make sure that each one of your cactuses is exactly 3 blocks tall. If it's too short, then none of the large cubes will be able to get hit by the cactus. Anyway, this officially looks very janky, doesn't it? But you know what? It is incredibly effective and works very, very well. And finally, we need to install the on switch for our build. So if we remove these 2 blocks right here in front of our slabs, and then 1 block downwards, you should see yourself a solid block that you placed. And this happens to be right above that piston, which is perfect. So place yourself a slab right there on that block that will extend the piston and also turn off the Trident Killer. If we unflick that, our Trident Killer should now be running and functional, which is looking great. Now go ahead and place in yourself probably a trapdoor above that so that you can open that, turn on and off your lever really easily. And then I would place a slab right here. but really it doesn't matter. You can do pretty much anything in this area. The on switch can be wired however you like it. This is just the simplest way of doing it. Now, you also want to get yourself some tridents as well, because you need to throw a couple of tridents into that Trident Killer. So we're going to go back inside the farm, grab a couple, and just throw, probably only one is necessary, but I'm going to put like 3 or 4. Now, all you got to do is go ahead and hold yourself a looting 3 sword, and that will apply the looting effect to any of the magma cubes that are killed inside of your Trident Killer. And now it is time for the most dangerous and unpredictable part of the build. You need to start removing the blocks or glass around your spawner. Now, as soon as you remove even like a single one of these, you're going to start instantly getting spawns, so make sure you are very much prepared. That guy really just exploded out of there, didn't he? See what I mean by unpredictable? So yeah, remove all of the blocks around your spawner. I would suggest doing this as quickly as possible, and don't like bridge out in there because you will definitely get knocked to your death. So basically, mine as far as you can reach. Be very, very careful not to break your spawner. Never look directly at it, just to be safe. And that is basically all the blocks that we can reach from this side. So now I would suggest going off to the other side of the build and removing as many blocks as you can from here. And as soon as all the blocks around your spawner are removed, your farm is now active and completely done and dusted. You should see a lot of your magma cubes just jump into the cactuses by default without you having to do anything at all. And then a lot of your smaller magma cubes will also just jump straight into the Trident Killer. These guys really do not like being alive, let me tell ya. Anyway, once you're down here, just go ahead and make sure that you're in survival, of course. Stand at your AFK spot, and as you can see, you will aggro every single one of these guys. You can smack them with your sword if you feel like it, but otherwise, the big ones will be dying on the cactuses. We can go ahead and turn on the Trident Killer, and we'll go ahead and get ourselves a whole bunch of experience. As you can see, it really is quite quick. We already got 10 levels. We haven't been here for that long at all. We can also see our drops rolling in to our chest as well. We already got 19 magma cubes. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's magma cube farm, then of course let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always trying to help you guys out as best as I possibly can. Also, let me know what you think about me doing the tutorial in world in an actual bastion. There's certainly some issues with cleanliness, but overall, I think that hopefully this will help you guys out a lot more building this in survival mode. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, then of course leave a like. It helps out the video a ton and the channel too. Share this video around with anyone who you think might be able to use it, and make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss future tutorials on the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you so very much for watching, and then there was silence.